And to be labeled with even a queen pin, if I was the worst one in history. But thank God that my case came to the attention of President Trump, and he had compassion on me. He was the first one who really pulled back the layers to my case to say, this is wrong. I had appealed to President Obama 3 times and been turned down all 3 times. But when it came to President Trump, he is the reason I'm sitting here today.
Trump saved my life, literally. My dad and my mom passed at the same time. I was in a bad place. I was going towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't ask me why, but I was. Donald Trump was standing on 97th Street in Broadway. He was at a friend's birthday party. And when he saw me coming past, I was hysterical in tears. And he gently grabbed my arm. He was like, whoa, wait a minute, are you okay? And he said, well, I don't know what you're gonna do right now, but whatever it is, forget about it. Take it out of your head. Your mom and dad wouldn't want that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel with your man Wise. I got a couple clips to share with you guys, but there is a few powerful clips, and then we're going to get into something from Timcast IRL. You guys got to see this, man. This is something that you won't really see on mainstream media networks when it comes to President Trump, because they only cover negative stories about our president right now. But like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
Of all the bad things that Donald Trump has done, he has done one thing I'm super excited about. He appointed Miss Alice Johnson to be the pardon czar. And if you don't know this story, you have to have a heart of stone not to be moved by this. Miss Alice Johnson was put in jail unjustly for life for a first-time nonviolent drug offense. Kim Kardashian found out about it. She raised an alarm.
I saw this 7 months ago, and I have been daily phone calls with the White House.
And Donald Trump, in the first term, freed her and gave her the opportunity now as the pardon czar to free more people unjustly incarcerated like her. Look, I don't like 99.9% of what Trump has done, but no president has ever given a formerly incarcerated person a job and a seat in the White House to help other people, and that's extraordinary. I give him full credit.
For me, I'm looking at the economy. Again, I think the president's critique of the problem as it pertains to trade, reshoring, trying to bring some jobs back, I think he's actually 100% spot on. But the way he's going about it, guys, I mean, hell, I got to be honest, even as a conservative, and I support the president, it's just not the right way. You got to be more surgical. Let's have a sort of fair 2.52% tariff with our allies, Europe, United Kingdom, Mexico, Canada. I think they'd actually come to the table and agree with that. Bring them to the table and put all of the focus and emphasis on China, because they are the greatest adversary, and that's where the real imbalance exists.
I think a lot of people, may agree with Shermichael. I'm one that will say, you know what, let's sit back and watch and let's see how this thing plays out when it comes to these tariffs. But shout out to Van Jones for being willing to just say, hey, this is a positive thing, that the president has done. No one really want to talk about the First Step Act and how many people, who were released from prison for non-violent offenses. No one wants to talk about that, and no one wants to give the president credit for doing that, for righting some of the wrongs of that 1994 crime bill that Biden and Clinton, Biden, put it to the forefront. Clinton signed it into office or signed it into law. And no one's talking about that, but let's keep going.
Trump saved my life, literally. My dad and my mom passed at the same time. I was in a bad place. I was going towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Don't ask me why, but I was. Donald Trump was standing on 97th Street in Broadway. He was at a friend's birthday party. And when he saw me coming past, I was hysterical in tears. And he gently grabbed my arm. He was like, whoa, wait a minute, are you okay? And he said, well, I don't know what you're gonna do right now, but whatever it is, forget about it. Take it out of your head. Your mom and dad wouldn't want that. And he talked to me till I forgot all about what I was gonna do. So he said, let me pray for you. So when I went to get my keys out of my pocket, and I opened my hand, he had placed a folded up, real small, folded up $100 bill in my hand. I framed it, literally, and this is a true story. He saved my life. Yeah, he did. So anybody that has anything bad to say about Trump, that it, because he's a good man.
That's something else. What a story. And you hear stories about him like that all the time, too. You don't hear those stories about Obama, Hillary, Joe Biden.
You don't. And unfortunately, mainstream media wants to paint this guy, as an animal, as a monster, as this racist, individual who lacks empathy for people. And it seems like, just based on stories, it seems like it's the furthest thing from the truth, man.
It's unfortunate to watch the country like descend into that again. Racial issues are hard to tackle because we're very susceptible to it, and unfortunately, we've backslid into a period of white racial backlash again, where the people around the country are they're just like, the Trump administration literally just treats any black person as unqualified and fires them from the federal government. Like, that's what Pete Hegseth is doing in the Department of Defense. It's just like out and out racism. It's like a racial purge of the government. It's really bizarre. They're trying to like resegregate the country.
Where did that happen where they were firing black people?
I don't know the names off the top of my head, but yeah.
That sounds not true.
Yeah.
Because I'll put it this way, even if it were true, it's so overt that they're
being really overt about it. Donald Trump is going on television and going, planes are crashing because of DEI. So but
DEI really, is a philosophy, is an ideology.
He's saying because there are unqualified air traffic controllers because they were hired because they're people of color. It's racist. He's racist. He's a racist man, and he's issuing racist policy, and the entire country's going along with it because we're in a period of white racial backlash.
When do you think he became racist?
I think he's been racist his whole fucking life.
Newsflash, white liberals, we don't want your help. We don't want your help. The kind of help that you guys offer, it's not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for us as black people in this country. It's not good for the country in general. We don't want it.
Speaking of second chances, few embody that better than my next guest. She was once sentenced to life behind bars for a first-time nonviolent drug offense until President Trump stepped in and gave her the freedom she deserved.
She has been just so outstanding, and I'm so proud of you. And we're giving Alice a full pardon. That means you can do whatever you want in life and just keep doing the great job you're doing.
Now, Alice Marie Johnson is leading the charge as the president's pardon czar, working to bring hope to those still trapped in a broken system. I sat down with Alice to learn more about the road ahead for reform and why redemption matters more than ever. Alice, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Your story is so incredible. When you think back on all of it, it could be a movie script. It could be a book that people would say, this couldn't even be real. Do you pinch yourself sometimes thinking about all of it?
I do. Every single day that I walk into this building, I've gone from prison house to the White House. And it's just incredible to me that my life would take a full circle journey. 7 years ago, I was sitting in a prison cell.
Wow. It is really remarkable. And then you're here today. You are President Trump's pardon czar.
Yes.
What does a pardon czar do? And how do you determine the people who you then take to the president and say, maybe you should consider a pardon for this person?
It's really easy for me because I've lived it. And so the president has entrusted me with this mission to help him find those people who deserve this second chance, who are similarly situated, not just like me, but who have served enough time, who have paid their debt to society. Plus, there are those who have been, I'm going to say, the victims of lawfare, the same way our president was.
You were a first-time nonviolent offender.
Yes.
And you were given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Were you prepared for that sentence? And did you feel at all that what you had done warranted that?
Absolutely not. I was not prepared for it, and I definitely did not think that it was warranted. Never been arrested before, never was criminally minded. Just a bad situation came into my life where under duress, I made a very bad decision to become involved in something that I didn't think it would lead to this. I've never sold drugs, I've never used drugs, and to be labeled with even a queen pin, if I was the worst one in history. But thank God that my case came to the attention of President Trump, and he had compassion on me. He was the first one who really pulled back the layers to my case to say, this is wrong. I had appealed to President Obama 3 times and been turned down all 3 times. But when it came to President Trump, he is the reason I'm sitting here today.
You got the same sentence as serial killer Charles Manson.
Worse.
So why do you think you were given that sentence?
They really came for me very strongly. When my attorney told me that they were offering me 3 years, he said, don't take it. He said, there's no way you're going to be found guilty because you have no money, you have no drugs. But little did I know about conspiracy, that someone can come and testify about something to save themselves, and then I could be sentenced like this. So when they told me life plus 25 years, it was unbelievable. My family couldn't believe it. I thought it was a mistake.
To go from this moment where you're given a life plus 25 years sentence without the possibility of parole, to 2020, President Trump giving you a full pardon. Tell me that moment when you heard, Alice Marie Johnson, you've been fully pardoned by President Donald Trump.
When President Trump gave me the full pardon, I felt that my life was starting all over again, not knowing that I would be advocating and fighting so hard for the freedom of others. President Trump had asked me to go find people like myself, and I brought many to the White House, and President Trump gave those individuals a second chance also.
Do you know the number, how many people you've allowed to have that second chance?
I sent over 100 clemency and pardon petitions to the White House when President Trump asked me to look for them. Over 46 people really were able to get a second chance in life.
Wow. That probably gives people a lot of hope. People who either have been wrongfully convicted, they've had a sentence like yours that just went way above and beyond anything that should have been appropriate. Do you think about yourself back whenever you were in prison and thinking, would anyone even care if I'm here?
I know that it gives families and prisoners around the nation hope that someone like me has been elevated to the position of pardon czar. For the President of the United States, they see themselves in me. They see themselves with the ability to move beyond their mistakes and to go into a future that they're not defined by the worst thing they've done in their lives. I really represent what America is about, second chances, the grit to come back even stronger as a nation, that we've gotten beyond our mistakes from our past. We've learned from them. We have grown from them. We are not a perfect nation. We are an imperfect nation, striving for excellence, striving for the ability to be a beacon to the rest of the world.
Would your story have been possible in any other country?
No, absolutely not. Only someone like President Trump could make my story possible.
Powerful, man. How many of you guys are familiar, with Miss Johnson's story and her situation, or is this the first time that you're hearing of this? And it's just so unfortunate because, mainstream media, they don't want to talk about these things. They don't want to talk about, a lot of the positivity. And there are countless stories, like this, of President Trump, being willing to step out there even before he became president, stepping out there and helping people of all ilks, not just, Black people, but, people of Americans, in this country. And it just shows, that, he has a real compassion for people. And, it's just unfortunate that folks don't know this story. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. It's phenomenal. These are 2 Black women, that are coming out here saying that, President Trump saved their lives. And it's an awesome thing, but it's also unfortunate because you have so many people out there, like, the liberal Adam Conover, who would come out here, and say these nasty negative things, that aren't true. But let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family. Or if you want to support the channel another way, buy your brother a coffee, man. That link's in the description box below. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.